The old mansion had been abandoned for decades, its grandeur slowly consumed by the passing of time. The once lush gardens now lay barren and overgrown, the sound of crickets and the rustling of leaves the only signs of life. A chill ran down the spine as the moon cast an eerie glow over the dilapidated structure, its windows like empty eyes staring back. The air was heavy with the scent of decay and rot, a noxious smell that clung to the skin like a damp shroud. I stood before the entrance, my heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear, as I pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The silence was oppressive, a heavy blanket that threatened to suffocate me at any moment. As I ventured deeper into the mansion, I stumbled upon a room that seemed frozen in time. The furniture was shrouded in dust, the curtains drawn, and the air was stale and unmoving. But it was the mirror that caught my attention, its surface unbroken and smooth, yet seeming to radiate an otherworldly aura. I approached the mirror cautiously, my reflection staring back at me with an unnerving intensity. But as I gazed deeper, I began to notice something strange. My reflection seemed to be shifting, its features blurring and morphing into something that was not quite me. I spun around, but I was alone in the room. The sensation grew more pronounced, and I felt a creeping sense of dread as I realized that my reflection was changing into a version of me from a different time. I was younger, with a mop of unruly hair and a mischievous grin, and yet, there was something unsettling about it. I turned back to the mirror, and my reflection was back to its original form, but I could have sworn I saw a flicker of the other me. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me, but the sensation lingered, like a shadow lurking just out of sight. I couldn't help but wonder what other secrets the mirror held, and what lay beyond its seemingly innocent surface. As I continued to gaze into the mirror, I started to notice other reflections staring back at me. There was a woman with piercing green eyes, her face twisted in a cruel smile. A young boy with a toy gun in his hand, his eyes wide with excitement. And a figure shrouded in shadows, its face obscured by an unseen force. I stumbled backward, my heart racing with fear, as the reflections seemed to coalesce into a single, monstrous image. The mirror seemed to be pulling me in, drawing me into its depths like a moth to a flame. I tried to turn away, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot. The reflections began to grow more intense, their faces contorted in agony and terror. I felt a cold breeze sweep through the room, and the mirror seemed to be shuddering, its surface rippling like a lake on a summer's day. I knew I had to get out, to escape the clutches of the mirror, but it was too late. As I turned to flee, I saw a figure standing behind me, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. I spun around, but there was no one there. The mirror was reflecting a version of me, one that was standing right behind me, its eyes fixed on mine with an unspeakable malevolence. And then, I felt the glass shatter, the mirror exploding into 1,000 shards of silvered glass. As I stumbled backward, I saw a figure emerging from the wreckage, its eyes still fixed on mine. It was me, or at least, a version of me from a different time. But it was not just my face that was familiar, it was my voice, my mannerisms, everything. And as I looked into its eyes, I realized that I was not who I thought I was.